Okay. We got
Brian Looper.
Okay.
Team Associated, Reedy Modifieds.
Cool, cool.
And I've got the RC8B4E here. So,
first thing that caught my eye is your battery configuration.
So this car has the capability to run either saddles or the 4-cell shorty pack. I have run the car in both configurations. I found for me, this was a more balanced feel. With the 2-cell shorties, the car's great either way. With the 2-cell shorties, the car, to me, didn't quite have as much rear grip and had more steering. This configuration gave me a better balance of rear grip and steering, so it became more neutral for me by doing it this way.
Okay. Shock wheels and pistons. I always start with shock wheels.
Okay, so current shock wheel is 50 in the front, and I'm running the factory team associated piston, a 5-hole, and I've got 3 holes at 1.4 and 2 holes at 1.5.
Okay.
And then in the rear, I'm running 47.5 associated oil, and I've got 3 1.5 associated factory team pistons and 2 at 1.6. So 3 at 1.5 and 2 at 1.6.
Okay.
I am currently running the flat piston. I have run this car both with the flat and with the beveled. And for this particular track, the car is much better with the flat piston for me. There's a lot of flat jumps here, especially with the little step downs in the back. It just landed more plush this way.
Okay.
And on diff oils, I'm running 10-10-6 associated diff oils, which is where Spencer had recommended the starting point on the diff oils.
You read the servos?
This is the crawler servo, the 4020A. It's great. It's not super fast. Now I do bump my the BEC in my servo, or the ESC, up to 7.4. Incredibly sturdy. Has like 400 and something ounces of torque, and I think it's a 0.9 sweep time. So not super fast, but you can't beat it. It's an incredible servo.
How is the build on this?
It's really good. The Associated cars always build really well to me. I've been with Associated for a few years, and I've never had a problem with any of the build kits.
Tell the people how far you go back in RC racing.
So I actually started racing in 1981. I had a Tamiya Hornet, and that was my first. Bought it from Sears. Found the local hobby shop, and I did take about a 10-year break, 2000 to 2010, and I came back in 2010 because of the e-buggy. A buddy of mine sent me a video. He's like, man, you got to check this out. I watched the video, and I'm like, oh, I got to get me one of those. So since 2010, I've been running electric e-buggy and e-truggy.
Tires, what tires you recommend?
Well, I don't have a tire sponsor, so I can run anything I want to run. Like today, that last round I ran the J-Concept Detox out here. To be honest, I don't even remember what I ran the first round. I usually levitate toward the J-Concepts tires. I have found that they just have a very good tread pattern and compound options. But like I said, I do vary. I have Proline tires as well, and so I run a little bit of everything. I buy all my stuff from Ryno Racing, the mobile hobby shop. So I get my tires from him.
Sway bars.
So I've got a choo-choo on the front, but you probably can't make it out. It's marked back there behind the, I don't know if you can pick that up. And on the rear is the 2.4. And on this build, it's critical that you actually do the 5mm gap. It shows it in the instructions, and I highly encourage that when you build it, that you do the 5mm gap on the rear sway bar.
Like, I know nothing about 8 scale. I'm a 10 scale guy, so this is all new. Shocks, any tips on when you build your shocks, something that you do?
I do. I run the emulsion style shock. I have found the emulsion style shock is more consistent than the bladder style shock. So I don't do anything special as far as when I bleed them. It's actually like a 10 scale shock, how you bleed a 10 scale shock. Has the bleeder screw, you know, pump them up. I usually pump them about 20 times, bleed it, and then put the cap on, you put the screw on, put the cap on, and be done.
Okay, okay.
Nothing special about how I do them.
Any hop-up parts that you do on this?
No, I do have titanium screws throughout, and I do have the aluminum factory team pillow balls, because the front end of these cars are really heavy with the steel pillow balls. So we do run the aluminum pillow balls. Titanium screws are just an option, just depending on how much you want to spend.
Right.
But I do have the titanium screws throughout on the car.
Right.
You know, I use the Lunford screws because they are the best in the business.
Okay.
So you pay price, but they are the best.
Right.
But no, this car is completely stock. Not running any. There's no hop-ups required to run this car.
Okay. How you got your ESC adjusted? Like, I heard brakes is real critical right here.
So I have mine with a punch of 3 and 80% on the factory settings.
Okay.
I think the factory setting is a 2 on the brake punch, and I think the factory setting may be 65% on the brake, but I do bump it up to 80% and a punch of 3, if that makes sense. When you run it through the program box, that would make sense.
Okay, do you adjust it throughout the day?
I usually don't on my brakes. The only thing I really tinker with would be the actual punch of the throttle. I have it currently set at 5. The higher bike tracks like today, you definitely want to bring it up, but if it's a low bike track, I might be down all the way down to a 3, you know, to get the car. So when you come out of the corner, rip that throttle, it's going to take it a second, but it'll provide more grip on a low bike situation.
Okay.
I tell you, this is the most underrated thing that people don't understand are your ESCs and the programming of them.
Right.
If you'll take the time to learn them and get a program box, that's a huge thing to understand, is your ESC and ESC settings.
Do you do a lot of adjustments in your radio?
I really don't. I may play with the high-end endpoint, you know, maybe not run it at 100% if a track's a little smaller. But no, I do everything through the ESC itself.
Okay, okay. Yep. Any wing adjustments? I see your wing there. Look.
So I do run the little shims under there. It would be the positive 2, so it puts a little more, you know, pitch to the wing. I do run those.
Okay.
You don't have to have them, but I did find that it did make a fairly amount of better grip by doing it. So I do run that.
Okay.
And I run it in the low position, so you can run the wing higher. You can move it up and down. I do run it in the low position, which was the same setting as the 0.2 in the high position.
Okay.
So, another neat feature of this car, you have 2 screws in that rear brace. So you can actually remove the front one and actually give more chassis flex to get more rear grip if you wanted to.
Okay.
I had been running it with just the 1 screw, but with today's track conditions, I've actually added back the second one. So you have the 2 here.
Right.
I've actually added back the front one to actually take away a little grip, because this track they had put calcium down on the track, so it's a really high grip track today.
Okay, okay. So, what made you come back to A scale? Like, you talked like that was the first thing you come back to. What was it about it that just...
I think the size, and because the tracks now are so much bigger than they used to be. You know, they cater to the 8 scale tracks nowadays with the jumps and the size of the track. The 10 scales just lost their fun to me when they became the 8 scale size tracks.
Right.
So it was really just the overall size of the car and the size of the tracks.
Okay. Any tips for a beginner that was probably looking to get this kid or anything like that?
Well, my buddy here, he's a novice, and he's racing the car.
Okay.
And of course, I've been helping them with the car along the way.
Right.
He's actually running pretty much the factory, you know, setup, the kit setup, and just learning how to drive and adjust to different track conditions. Don't expect to go out and win. Go have fun. Take the time to enjoy it. I enjoyed it with my dad. He's enjoying it with his dad. Take it in. It goes by fast.
Okay.
You know, so just enjoy it. And these cars are so powerful and so fast. It's okay to slow them down to be able to drive them. Don't be afraid to turn that endpoint down and slow the cars down. That's a big thing I see people They want to use all that power because, man, it's awesome, it's fast, but all it does is get them in trouble.
Okay.
Slow them down.
Is this your local track or?
Yeah, I don't really have a local track. I'm 2 hours from here, but all of the tracks that I race at are about a 2-hour drive.
Okay.
So
if they see you at the track, just come up, say what's up.
Absolutely, man. I've been in this so long. I enjoy helping, and that's part of the hobby, you know, is the helping people and growing the hobby. I'm an open door. I don't hide anything from anybody. So yeah, come find me. You know, ask me any questions, and it doesn't have to be about an associated car.
Right.
They pretty much all translate. They're all 3 diff cars, shocks,
and growing the hobby.
That's what it's all about.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Oh yeah. So that's the VP
power wash. Yep.
Uh-huh.
You can spray it after you've cleaned your car up.
Uh-huh.
It has a little bit of oil content to it, so it'll help kind of bring the pop back to it.